Palaszczuk government is banning fishing Spanish mackerel in North Queensland in a move that they say will replenish stock. But my next guest, professional fisherman and spokesperson Daniel McCarthy, says it's a simple case of green politics. He joins me now. Daniel, what do you mean by that? Has this department, the Fisheries Department in Queensland, been hijacked by the Greens? Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely, Peter. There is no question about it. The Greens have very strategically over many years now, the anti-fishing lobby group in particular, have infiltrated the Department of Fisheries as well as the Environment Department and every other department. Interestingly, they are in very key positions now where they can influence major decisions. Now, with all due respect to Minister Furner, it is quite obvious he hasn't got a clue about fishing. He wouldn't know a mackerel from a flathead, and he's been led up the garden path by this anti-fishing lobby group, and he has been convinced to sacrifice small businesses on the ultra-green politics once again. And we've seen this for many years now, and every time these decisions are made, the people that make the decisions are never affected by them, but small businesses, hardworking Queenslanders, hardworking Australians just get flogged with a stick all the time to appease the greenies in the latte set in the major capital cities around this country. And it's costing, particularly in regional Australia, it costs us a lot of money, a lot of jobs, a lot of futures, all just to please a few greenies that incidentally don't even go out on the water, Peter. I don't know if they like eating mackerel or any other fish for that matter, but as a nation now, we have been importing over 70% of the seafood we consume as a nation for decades now. We've got the third largest territorial sea on the planet, yet here we are locking up our businesses, locking up our oceans, crucifying our small businesses, our very sustainably run fisheries, all to please the anti-fishing lobby group. It doesn't make any sense.
It's a stitch up, as you say. What sort of science are they relying on? What are the flaws in this science?
Well, the science, Peter, is and I told it to the Director of Fisheries the other night in a meeting here, the 11th hour, or past the 11th hour, before they've already made the decision quite clearly that the science they're relying on, they should be embarrassed to even call that garbage science. It's much closer to witchcraft than it is science. There's decades, Peter, where they're completely void of any data whatsoever, but they've come up with this mysterious baseline that is literally based around one newspaper article in 1911. Can you believe it? A picture of somebody
1911.
1911. People holding up two Spanish mackerel that were caught on the back of a ferry going to Magnetic Island. The only commercial fishing that was happening then was out of rowboats. But they've got this idea of they know exactly what the baseline stock was, what the biomass was, and then for the next 20 years, it's virtually void of any data whatsoever, but they show consistently high catches and consistently declining stocks and biomass. So it's just absolute farcical. I've been working with a number of scientists on this, and they are telling me that they're talking to scientists all around the world, and they are just shaking their heads in disbelief that the Queensland government can rely on such absolute garbage and masquerading it around as science. They should be embarrassed.
Well, I've seen those bumper stickers, I fish and I vote. I'm getting a sense that you're going to make this an election issue going into the 2024 Queensland election. Would I be right in assessing that?
You are very much correct, Peter. I was actually involved with a group of us here in Cairns that came up with those bumper stickers, and I ran for the Senate for the Australian Fishing and Lifestyle Party and went very close to getting elected in 2013 on the back of the fishing vote. And on the back of all the other trouble this terrible Palaszczuk government has got themselves into, this is just going to add to the pressure. And the only chance fishermen have in Queensland is to rally together and make this a significant issue, because like I said earlier, these people making these decisions are never affected by them, but everybody else, particularly in coastal regional Queensland, suffers all the time. And the only way that's going to stop is when we get rid of them and throw them out.
Well, Daniel McCarthy, it's a big issue, and I'm sure the good folk of North Queensland will rally behind the professional fishermen who obviously are going to be doing it very tough. Thank you for your time tonight, Daniel.
Thanks, Peter.